Welcome to Inspire the Next Mind by Fazuz.ai. Today, we're jumping into a topic that is, quite literally, at the heart of everything new in our world. We are talking about creativity. And in this explainer, which is based on the incredible work of Mohammad Fazi El-Jendi, we're going to give you a kind of map to navigate its amazing and, yeah, sometimes complicated maze. You know, this quote right here, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to discuss. It asks us to think about creativity not as some kind of magical talent, but as a compass, a tool that every single one of us already has. It's that gut feeling, that little spark that guides you when the path forward is anything but clear. Our whole goal today is simple: help you find your compass, learn how to read it, and actually start using it. So, here's our roadmap for this journey. First, we'll pinpoint the compass within you. Then, we're going to clear the way by busting creativity myths. After that, we'll load up your Innovator's Toolkit with some really practical stuff. We'll also figure out how to navigate creative blocks. And finally, we'll see it all in action with some awesome examples of innovation in the real world. So, let's get started. Okay, our first stop is all about recognizing something that's already there. Honestly, the most crucial step in any journey is just believing you have what you need to start. And the truth is, you do. You were born with this incredible creative potential. It's not some rare gift for a select few, it's part of what makes us human. This is where we need to just blow up the old definition. Creativity is not just about painting or writing a song. It's that spark when you open a nearly empty fridge and somehow whip up a decent meal. It's figuring out a clever new route to work to dodge traffic. It's even finding just the right way to explain something in a tough conversation. See? At its core, creativity is just another name for problem solving. All right, so before we can really put that inner compass to good use, we've got to clear away some pretty big roadblocks. And these aren't physical things. They're powerful, sticky ideas, myths, really, about what creativity is and who's allowed to be creative. Let's tackle the biggest one right out of the gate. The idea that you're either born with it or you're not. The truth? That's just not how it works. Creativity is a skill. It's way more like a muscle. The more you exercise it, by asking questions, trying things, messing up, the stronger it gets. Just thinking about it that way can be a total game changer. And then there's this one, that creativity lives exclusively in the arts department. But that's just so not true. Think about it. A scientist designing an elegant experiment, an entrepreneur spotting a new market, a teacher inventing a fun way to teach math, those are all profoundly creative acts. It's a language that everybody speaks. And maybe the most destructive myth of all is the one we whisper to ourselves: I'm just not a creative person. It's time to retire that phrase for good. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has creative potential. The only real question is not if you're creative, but how are you going to let it out? How are you going to grow it? Okay, with those myths out of the way, the path should be looking a lot clearer. So, now it's time to get down to business. Let's start filling your Innovator's Toolkit with some really powerful, hands-on techniques to get those ideas flowing whenever you need them. We have to start with a classic: brainstorming. The reason it's so powerful is because it's so simple. The goal here is just sheer volume of ideas. You want a flood. And there is one golden rule: no judgment. You have to turn off that inner critic. Don't build that dam that stops the river of ideas. Let every single thought out, because you never know when a supposedly bad idea is the spark for a truly brilliant one. All right, now for a more structured approach. This is called the Scamper method. Think of it like a checklist of questions you can ask to innovate on pretty much anything. So let's take a simple coffee mug. Using Scamper, you'd ask, can I substitute the material? Can I combine it with a coaster? Can I adapt it to hold plants? See? Each letter is a different prompt, a new lens to look through and spark a fresh idea. And hey, the toolkit is deep, it doesn't stop there. As you can see, there are so many other amazing techniques. Mind mapping, for example, is amazing for getting all your thoughts out visually. The 6 thinking hats helps a group look at a problem from totally different angles. The big takeaway here is that no matter what creative problem you're up against, there's a tool out there designed to help you tackle it. Now, let's be real for a second. Even with the best compass and a backpack full of tools, every journey hits a rough patch. We've all been there, just staring at a blank page, feeling totally and completely stuck. This whole section is about pushing through those inevitable creative blocks. I mean, seriously, who hasn't? That feeling when the well of inspiration just runs dry, and every single idea you have feels wrong. It is a universal feeling for anyone, anywhere trying to make something new. But the good news? You can absolutely break through that wall. So the first step is to play detective. What's actually causing the block? Is it that fear of failing or that need for everything to be perfect? That's an emotional barrier. Or are you just fried from working too hard? That's burnout. Maybe you're just drowning in too much information. Figuring out the why is half the battle. And you know what? For every cause, there is a strategy. If perfectionism has you frozen, just give yourself permission to be imperfect, to write that terrible first draft. If you're burned out, take a real break. No, seriously. Sometimes the most creative thing you can do is just get up, walk outside, change your scenery, and let your brain breathe. You know, it's that act of pushing through the blocks that leads to real-world breakthroughs. So for our last section, let's take a look at what happens when all these ideas get put into practice by some companies that have totally changed the game. I mean, just look at this list. It shows there's no single recipe for innovation. Lego literally brought its own fans into the design process. That's an amazing lesson. Pixar built an entire culture around the idea that story is king. Tesla didn't just build a car, they reimagined the entire ecosystem around it. And Spotify? They use data in such a creative way to give you that Discover weekly playlist that feels like magic. Each one is a masterclass in applied creativity. So after all this, what's the one big thing to take away? It's that navigating this maze of creativity isn't about finding some secret final destination called I'm creative. The real prize is the journey itself. It's about embracing your own unique path with all its amazing twists and turns and discoveries along the way. So, we've given you a compass. We've put some tools in your toolkit. We've pointed out some of the tricky spots on the terrain. But in the end, you're the one on the expedition. The map hasn't been drawn yet. That part's up to you. So the only real question left is, what will you create?